I just don't get Dez Bryant in the social media thing and why he's letting trolls and why he is trying to defend himself over social media. I say I don't get it, but I do get it. All these young athletes are addicted to social media. Dez Bryant just keeps soiling himself and giving teams a reason to pass on him. If I'm Cleveland, I would be very leery. I don't want a guy who's living on social media. I want a guy who's living in the real world, and particularly a guy like Dez with his history. I don't. When Jason Whitlock wrote his piece a few weeks ago about athletes controlled by Twitter, I think it was a cry for help. It was an intervention for Dez Bryant that he's ignoring.
It's not only Dez Bryant, it's lots of people, and he's particularly there in his mentions. I would say that Dez Bryant, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, take it outside of athletics, right? I wish the president spent a lot less time on Twitter. I wish Elon Musk, who may be the most brilliant capitalist in the entire world, spent a lot less time on Twitter. Both of them regularly get in trouble on Twitter, and I think Dez Bryant fits that mold too. He is creating a situation where he's not going to be employable, and for what? For nothing. It's nonsensical to me.
Yeah, this is his history, though, right? You guys remember in Dallas what happened? You know, first 2 years, he's a bit of a problem off the field. They had to get him a curfew. They told Dez Bryant, you're not allowed to go in strip clubs. No alcohol. Listen, when your team is banning you from strip clubs, listen, Dez Bryant's got major problems. But now here's the thing. He's made $56 million in his career. Who sits at home after making $56 million and is on Twitter responding to trolls?
Hey, money that's a billionaire.
money has nothing to do with it.
I think that's the issue.
It's like Dave Chappelle, you say, when keeping it real goes wrong.
Yeah.
And the problem is, he's defending himself. And is it right or wrong? Nobody wants anything negative to be said about him. I don't care who you are. It bothers more than others. And all he did was react. Right or wrong, he just reacted. And he's just not getting great advice. Like, everybody wants to wait for a contender when you're a vet. Contending teams, they don't need you. That's why they're contending teams. And they have a good team. Unless they suffer a catastrophic injury at the receiver spot, the better teams don't want him. He had his opportunity to go to Baltimore, which I thought he should have done, and just crafted a contract first year, whatever he would have made second year, give me an $8 to $9 million bonus, third day of the year. If they don't do that, they have to release him. So in essence, it would have been a one-year deal.
I want to respond to one thing you said about he's getting great advice.
No, he's not.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. I think he is getting great advice. But here's what I tell some young people in my family. I've been telling them this for years. Man, you are great at taking advice. You're terrible at following advice. And that's what Dez Bryant's problem is.
You're not on social media, right?
I just got on.
Oh, you did? Why now? You've been waiting this long.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to do it now? Because all of us, obviously, in the media have to make a living on social media.
Yeah.
And I do wonder a lot, how much different would our industry be if social media didn't exist? Now, certainly I've benefited being able to share my opinions and everything else. But I think on some level, when you have a measure of success, when you're Donald Trump, why do you care how you got elected president? You're the president, right? Why do you care what somebody says about you on Twitter or television? Elon Musk, you have built SpaceX.
Because we're human.
You have built Tesla.
We're human.
But let your successes speak for themselves. Dez Bryant has been very successful. Don't listen to what others say.
It doesn't matter. He's saying he has a contract from them. NFL Network says they could sign him in a couple weeks. You know what that means?
That makes the Browns look bad.
Well, wait a sec. He's a fallback option. If Josh Gordon relapses, yeah, we'll bring in Dez Bryant. If Josh Gordon messes up, Dez Bryant, you're our guy. But until then, Dez Bryant's not coming to the Browns.
Or they offered him like $1 million. Just because you have a contract offer doesn't mean that it's a good contract offer.
I mean, but when
right?
you've made $56 million, honestly, if I made $56 million, this is just me, I could care less what I'm getting that year because I know I'm going to ball out and get more. That's how I would think.
It is how you would think if you were a highly confident person. And everything Dez Bryant is doing screams to me he's a very insecure, lacks confidence person. And that's, I see a lot of people, and I had to discipline myself in terms of how was I going to respond to people that troll me. I tend to respond with jokes and with not taking them seriously. Dez, to me, and again, I've been where Dez is, where you just want to kill people for the dumb stuff they're saying, they're uninformed, but it does you no good because, first of all, what Dez has got to realize, it may not even be a real person. They made a mistake overdrafting Lamar Jackson. They're in a conundrum and got this problem because
Guys are fired up already.
RG3 is their second best quarterback, but they got to keep Lamar Jackson because he was drafted at the end of the first round. And, oh, my God, now it's going to go down to the wire. Are we going to do the right thing and have a legitimate backup quarterback and keep 3? Or are we going to let RG3 go and hope and pray Joe Flacco never gets hurt?
You guys are so fired up. I know what you guys are going to say. I'll let you guys go. Here's what I said. I loved watching Lamar Jackson play in college. I loved gambling on his games. Bobby Petrino, that offense they would set up was electric. It was exciting to watch. Here's what I noticed, and I'm far from an X's and O's guy. Bobby Petrino either schemed somebody open or Lamar Jackson ran. That was their game plan at Louisville. When he actually went up, Lamar Jackson, against really good SEC opponents, over his career, I got some stats for you, and this is what made me nervous, particularly in the bowl game he finished with against Mississippi State. Lamar Jackson against SEC defenses, 48.5% completion percentage, 9 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. This man won the Heisman Trophy against ACC defenses and below. He's an electric, exciting player. He wasn't ready to play at the quarterback position in my mind. If Joe Flacco goes down, I think you got to keep RG3 because he's the most ready to come in and run the offense. Tee off, guys.
Ozzie Newsome, I asked him this a couple of weeks ago at the Hall of Fame. I just want to see what he's going to say. I said, what do you think of Lamar? Can he play in the National Football League? He said, Eric, most definitely can play. He said, he's not ready to play right now. He said, but man, he can play. I said, what about his accuracy? He said, we can work on that. He said, I'm telling you, I'm excited. And when you have, Ozzie's done a great job with the Baltimore Ravens, so I think he would know. He said, he's a project, but I'm telling you,
would he have told you this guy has no chance?
If he'd have said this guy has no chance of playing, man,
Eric,
it's a,
Eric,
yeah, yes.
Do you remember your first wife?
I've never been married, so.
Damn it.
Wow, this went right to like 2. He didn't just assume you were married. He assumed you were divorced.
Really? What's up with that?
Yeah. He drafted the guy. What else is he going to say?
Man, that's not always true. Some coaches, he just
not
said.
At the quarterback
this is what he just said. You know what? I think he's a big project, but I think we can work with it. He said it with excitement, Eric. He said, this guy can play the quarterback position. Look, they just happen to be fortunate enough that RG3.
You have to keep 3, though, right? Don't you have to keep RG3, too?
You have to keep RG3. You have to. But he's a rookie. This guy's he's going to be a project.
We got another member of the Jackson Hive. Go ahead, Tito.
Go ahead. Number one, the Ravens should, and they will keep RG. You have to. If we're going to have a discussion about concern of Baker Mayfield, and he was a number 1 pick, why should the number 32 pick in the draft be that great and ready to play? If we're talking about Baker Mayfield and his being concerned about him, but we're not concerned about the 32nd pick, and we knew coming into the draft that Baker Mayfield was more ready than Lamar Jackson. RG3 has earned his spot on this team. It's not nothing to do. It has nothing to do with Lamar Jackson. RG3 has earned. You got to remember
they
now.
They have a decision to make because they don't normally carry 3.
They haven't since 2009, but they have done it before.
RG3 was a number 2. We talking like he's a bum.
He was out of the league last year, TJ.
RG3 was a number 2 pick of the draft, rookie of the year. He's proven he can play in this league. He's proven that.